There's a new show on ABC Primetime featuring that rare thing on network television, a black woman as the lead character. And it was created by the same person who brought us Grey's Anatomy and Private Practice, African-American writer and executive producer Shonda Rhimes. Played by Kerry Washington, the show Scandal is based on Judy Smith, one of the top crisis managers in Washington, D.C. She's here with me in the studio, and we'll talk with her after we take a look at a clip from next week's show Scandal.
Who's speaking at the OAS? Who's in town? OAS?
Organization of American States annual conference this week.
Bolivia, Brazil, Haiti, Honduras.
I think it's the Cubans. They've been wooing us for months.
Would you like me to get a gun?
You have a gun? I have one too. No guns.
You gave them coffee.
So they would kill me?
Buenas noches, caballeros. Les quiero dar las gracias por su visita, pero en este momento necesito entrar a mi oficina. Of course, and General.
Who is it?
General Benicio Flores.
Otherwise known as ruthless, repressive, political freedom-hating, police brutality-loving South American leftist dictator.
And sworn enemy of the United States.
All right, now when you see the gladiator in the suit, do you sit there and go, oh yeah, that's me. That's exactly how I did it.
Well, you know, I always say, Roland, that Shonda Rhimes has done this fantastic job at taking the crisis world that we live in and really dramatizing for television. She does a wonderful job, and Kerry Washington is just awesome in it. I couldn't find a better person.
But the real crisis world, I mean, that's no joke in terms of when you have to deal with the late night phone calls, dealing with trying to hide from the press. When you're sitting there and Governor Terry Sanford in South Carolina comes back after kicking it with his Argentinian sex pot.
You're so mean.
Are you sitting there going, let's see, this is how I think I probably would handle this, or I wonder what his folks are thinking. So when news happens, are you also thinking that way just naturally?
Constantly, all the time. It's one of those sort of sick brains that I have that I'm like, oh my God, I wonder what they're going to say and how they're going to say it and who's going to say it and when. And TV is even worse. You know, I could be watching TV and something's unfolding and you're looking at it and you're analyzing and saying, oh no, he should be over here. And it's compulsive type A behavior on my part.
Now, you're busy, of course, promoting the show, but also a new book. Tell us about it.
Yes, the book is called Good Self, Bad Self. And what it is, it really takes my 25 years of crisis experience and put it in a book really to provide everyday people with tools to try to help navigate, you know, the stress and crisis in their lives.
And that's real because, again, the people don't have the luxury of having to call a crisis expert.
That's right.
But they also have issues handling those many crises that take place in their lives.
That's right, and it's important. You know, it really looks at some of the core traits that we think that cause crisis, whether it's ego, ambition, denial, and fear, and those kinds of really traits that really lead to crisis. And so you're right. I mean, what I tried to do is to really use that insight that sort of powerful people have, and the rich and famous that usually, you know, hire me for services, and really try to provide something for everyday people.
How do you deal with when you're dealing with folks who are standing on conviction and truth, and they are in a situation where folks are coming at them, and they make it perfectly clear, look, this is where I stand, and they're not going to back down from it, but you're saying, look, but the scenario calls for you to have to sort of wiggle this thing or wiggle your way out of this thing.
Right. I think for each person that's in a crisis, I mean, there's sort of a process that we go through.
And is it harder for politicians?
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. But I think really at the end of the day, you have to stand where you believe you need to stand, and let everybody else, whether it's the legal situation or the communication situation, deal with that. You know, usually when you're in a crisis, the kinds of things that we really talk to clients about is, you know, tell the truth. You got to face into the facts. You've got to know the facts. It's not the sort of selective facts. It's the facts of how they truly are and not what you want them to be. And then another key thing really is if you screw up, if you made a mistake, you need to apologize for it.
Okay, all right. Name of the book again?
Good Self, Bad Self, and the name of the company is Smith & Co. Use this.
Yes, you got to. All right, Judy, we appreciate it. Thanks a bunch.
Thanks a lot for having me.
All right, I'm looking forward to more of the show, and ABC, pick it up for the full season. All right, folks, we need you to support the show as well. Look, as I've always said on this show, we can't complain about the lack of diversity on network television if we don't support the programs that have it. Plus, it's a damn good show, so you can watch Scandal on ABC Thursday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central.